G'day, so this evening I thought I'd do a quick video on how to make thermos style yogurt. I've just cooked a nice korma curry, so I was going to do some savoury yogurt that is unsweetened. You can also make the same recipe sweetened as a sort of a dessert style yogurt. This is not a super firm yogurt, it's sort of a little bit runny, a bit like a sort of a soft Greek style yogurt, which goes very well in cooking. You can check out one of my other videos, which is more for a thick creamy style yogurt, which I brew for 24 hours. This one's only a 12-hour brew. So I kick off with, I've just got about a half a litre or so there of water. So the first thing I'm going to add is a little bit of culture. This is Y450B Yoghurt Culture, which I buy from a company in Queensland called greenlivingaustralia.com.au. So I'm just taking a little bit of the culture out on this little spoon I've got here, which is sort of a tiny little spoon. It's called a smidgen measure, but it doesn't really matter too much. So hopefully you can see the amount of culture I'm grabbing out there. It would be sort of the equivalent of maybe a couple of grams of small sugar. I'm just trying to get the camera to focus on that for you. It's not going to do that or anything. A bit difficult to focus. Anyway, so it's a tiny amount of culture there, and the first thing I do is I just sort of mix that in the water there. Because it's strongly hydrophilic, it absorbs water, which means that it tends to get a bit goopy as you get towards the end of your sealed jar, which you keep in the freezer. So that's why I'm sort of washing it off the spoon rather than just being able to sort of tip it into the water there. Next thing I add is a little bit of calcium chloride, which is just a natural salt, similar to sodium chloride, which is regular table salt. It's just a couple of drops of this solution. It really would be hardly any, but it just adds back in a natural salt that is in fresh cow's milk, which you need to do if you're using a powdered milk. You don't need to do it, it's optional, but it just makes it a slightly firmer yogurt, just causes the setup a little bit better. So now I'm going to add the full cream powdered milk, and this is a half cup measure, so I'm going to add one of those. Two, so that's a whole cup, and I want to add about 1.25 cups, or just a little bit over that. So just to make a regular thickness of yogurt, about 1.25 cups, or 2.5 half cup measures in this case, into that. Now, as I said, you could also add between 1 and 2 tablespoons of caster sugar to that same mix and stir it all in together, but in this case I'm making a savoury yogurt, so I'm not going to do that. So the next step is just to pop the lid on the top here of this particular shaking jar, and then just give it a really good shake to mix it in. Don't fill it right up with water from the beginning, otherwise you don't have room to do your shaking. So I've just given it a good shake there, and I'm just going to walk over to my filter and top that right up to the top, so make about 1 litre altogether. Alright, that's all right up to the top. So just mix in your initial batch with the fresh water by just giving it a bit of a shake. So we're almost there. This here is the thermos, which has a baffle inside it, which has written on the top, this side up. And you want to make sure that side is up and that it's pushed right down to the bottom. And the next thing we do is we put boiling water from the kettle into the thermos, and you fill it up to the top of the baffle there. So just fill it right to the top of the baffle, not more, not less, just because that provides the right amount of heat to keep it sort of brewing overnight. So it's about 8 o'clock at night, and I'll take it out at about 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So I won't tip it over because you won't be able to see, but it's full to the top of the baffle there. Make sure the lid's on tight. Pop that in there, and as you put it in, the water rises up around the outside of the bottle. You put the lid on the thermos, lock it down, and then usually put a note on the top to remind myself when to take it out of the thermos and it'll be done. So that'll make a nice sort of not too firm Greek style yoghurt to go with the curry. As I said, you could add sugar if you wanted to make a fresh yoghurt. So good luck with that, hope it works out for you.